Thank you. First of all, I really want to take this opportunity to say thank you very much for the opportunity to be here and share what is happening in terms of combating malaria in Mozambique. As I indicated the first day, for me, this is clearly a paradigm shift. It is a revolutionary move. I think the fact that we are here together, reflecting on those issues and trying to find ways in which religious communities can be engaged on sustainable development to end extreme poverty, it's really revolutionary. And I think if we move from intentions, from declarations to action, no doubt that in our time, we can see change happening. So I think we ought to congratulate ourselves by being part of this revolutionary move. As you can see from the first slide, we're talking of various faiths united, trying to work together. So the issue of teamwork comes again. It's so crucial that we do work together. There are things that may seem impossible for each and every one of us to do by himself or herself, but it doesn't mean that it cannot be done. It only requires collaboration and a spirit of working together. And so I think working together is very crucial. And of course, for us to work together, we need to understand each other. We have to engage. There's an interesting African saying that goes like, if you want to go fast, go yourself. But if you want to go far or reach further, go with others. And I think we need to begin learning a way of moving together. And by doing so, we will see interesting results. There is value in doing positive things together. You will realize that in the context of religions, if we do things together, we end up overcoming prejudice against each other. And we can also develop other ways of intervention. Like in the context of Mozambique, we have been very much involved in the process of bringing about peace in the country as religious bodies. And in fact, that motivated us to come up with the PIRCOM initiative and say, if we manage to contribute to stopping war, guns, why can't we stop malaria? Why can't we stop mosquito? It's very small to be able to gain space if we come together. But if we work separately, then we'll end up not being able to do what we can do. So working together is very crucial. I will not speak much on the slide themselves because they are there and they can read easily. But I wanted to indicate that the basics, our strategic intervention is again on the issue of SBCCs, the change of the behavior. The behavior change is very crucial because if you change your attitudes, in fact, by changing attitudes, we can reach many other things. In the context of Mozambique, to have malaria has become a normal thing. So, and what is abnormal is not to have malaria. And so we have to begin by changing that. You know, people have to understand that it's not normal to have malaria. And so you have to fight and seek ways of avoiding having malaria. And if you do have, then you have to seek treatment because there is a possibility of treatment. It's interesting that the country has developed capacity to treat malaria. And therefore, if a person goes to the clinic on due time, will not die because of malaria. But then people need to understand that that is not a normal thing to have so. I wanted also to bring the second point, which for me is to say the involvement of religious communities in development is not an option, it's a must, it's obligatory. If we really serious about reaching the very needy people. Because religious communities are in places where even the government sometimes are not able to reach, but they are there. That is one. But the second thing, which is so crucial, is that when a religious leader speaks to all people. But when a politician speaks to his followers, which means that the others actually literally close their ears. No, they don't want to hear because they always do a connotation of what he says with his political inclination. But the religious leaders speak for the well-being of all people, and therefore we can capitalize using that. And that is why we capitalize on training religious people to speak the correct language in terms of malaria prevention and treatment so that they speak to all people. And then you can see our advocacy work, meeting with the president and trying to make a contribution on how can we fight against malaria together, because it's a joint initiative. We can't do it alone, but we can do together. Capacitating religious leaders and the volunteers, you can see by yourself. But I also wanted to mention that the third point I wanted to mention is the fact that I tried to listen very carefully from the very first day, and there was kind of an indication that some people would say, are we to support the religious institutions or governments? And I wanted to say that my reflection is that it's not neither or, it's both. I think if we develop the understanding that we can collaborate and there is complementarity, then we'll see better results. It is about complementarity, not about either or. The fourth and last point, because of time, I wanted to mention the fact that we need to take a step, a deliberate step to move from intentions to action. I think that is very crucial. John Burroughs put it very nicely when he said, the smallest deed is better than the biggest intention. We need to begin doing things. We can have very wonderful declarations, but if those declarations are not translated into action, nothing will change. We'll maintain the status quo. And let us be mindful that needy people need very much little, but they need that little so much. In other words, without that little, they die. So it's a matter of life and death, my brothers and sisters. Therefore, come, let us make a difference in our time. Come, let us be part of the solution. Let us be passionate activists on ending extreme poverty in our time. I thank you.
Thank you, Bishop Matsolo. So I hear a powerful call to action, and lunch is looming, and what we want to do is take just 8 minutes. I'm going to give myself 8 minutes to put you all into groups, stay in your groups, and reflect upon what you've heard from these great presenters, and see if you can come up with a few of those pesky recommendations for action. And we're not going to go through everyone to report out. I'm going to ask for 3 groups to actually share one. Trust that we will capture everything, and you will have opportunities to learn what people are recommending.
Yeah, just to say that in the table, there are these flies in Portuguese and English, and therefore, so you can start learning a bit of Portuguese. And then there is this a sticker that our volunteers use to identify the house that they visit for monitoring and evaluation following.
Muito obrigado.